How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3'S Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Woodblocker. If you'd like to farm the Woodblocker for yourself, you can fast travel over to the Vorash's Canopy and turn around and walk right back through to Floodmore Basin. This will put you right next to a save station with a catch guide station right next to that, from which you can run or drive just around this corner to find Indo-Tyrant, who can drop the Woodblocker. You can also, however, find the Woodblocker in the filthy corners of your closet, in your various garbage bins, at your local church congregate, or in bed with your mother. The Woodblocker is a legendary Hyperion sniper rifle with the special effect of shooting in a 4-round burst. It also has the added bonus of taking up about 98% of your world drop loot pool. Woodblocker is able to roll in any of the elements except for non-elemental, and only ever comes with the amped front-facing shield. The Woodblocker has had two separate buffs. The first buff was a 100% crit damage boost with slightly reducing the recoil, and the second was the overall sniper buff that gave it 20% weapon damage. Now, the Woodblocker isn't really a forgotten weapon, although I'm sure many of us wish it was. The Woodblocker makes itself impossible to forget as it drops more than the balls of a Call of Duty lobby. But putting the annoyance of this gun constantly fucking dropping aside, let's focus on how it actually functions, which surprisingly is not terrible. The damage is decent, the burst fire makes it kind of feel like an invader, and it can actually kill things decently well, which is a pretty big achievement for a Hyperion sniper rifle. But that's kind of where the upsides end, because there's a fuck ton of drawbacks to this weapon. Because of this burst fire, it is compensated with a lower overall base damage, which does end up meaning that it's very important to land all of those shots to get the highest potential damage out of this thing. That can be very difficult, though, with how much enemies move in this game. Against stationary or a lot of ground enemies, this thing is very easy to use, but against anything that's in the air, good luck. Because it's also burst, you kind of just end up feeling like you're wasting a lot of ammo that you don't necessarily need, because against a lot of squishier targets, you aren't gonna need all 4 of those fucking burst shots. And while it has a 20-round mag, that ends up meaning you only get 5 shots out of each one. Every time I've previously talked about the Woodblocker to just other people, I've always compared it to either an SMG or an assault rifle, because that's where it feels better at home. The only problem with that is that it still feels really awkward because of the lower mag size and how the burst fire of this gun actually works. It isn't like a usual burst fire SMG or AR, because where with those you can hold down your mouse button and it'll burst every interval. With the Woodblocker, to activate the burst, you have to manually click every single time. It's like a semi-auto burst fire, if that makes any sense at all. And while it feels more at home in that sort of category, it just doesn't have the same sort of DPS as those sorts of guns do. Overall, the Woodblocker is usable, and that's about it. It can kill, it will kill, you can use it, it's just not really worth ever using. It feels awkward, it doesn't really have legendary status damage, and really I wish I could say there was a better option, but there isn't. I think that the Woodblocker is probably my favorite of the legendary Hyperion sniper rifles. And not only my favorite, but probably just the best option out of them, which is really depressing for how much I love the idea of Hyperion sniper rifles, and I've always loved them throughout the entire franchise, but dear God, Gearbox just keeps shafting them. Oh, and it fucking sucks shit on flak. But that's about do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where I will be live right after this video goes up, and under that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.